My turn. Yeah. Welcome to your daily dose. My name's Robert. That's my pal Susan. How you doing, Susan?
Howdy, howdy. Oh, I'm having a good day. Lots of improv.
Well, yeah, we had an interesting experience back to back here. We did the first program, Jam for Joy, which is the open-ended kind of
Drop in.
drop-in version, and
Mhm.
then we started our first ever curriculum class that is not based in I guess a formal research program. It is part of the yes and exercise, which for me was different because it really let me know I can just kind of do what I want to do here. I don't have to feel constrained by, you know,
Yeah.
a
Well,
study.
as the lone nut, that must make you feel really good, right? When you're out there doing this by yourself, there's no guidelines for you. You're making it
Right.
up.
Yeah. Well, the guidelines are what, you all have taught me in the past couple of years, which is
That's
about
good.
listening, about responding, about bringing it forward. And it was neat to see. We had, I think, people from, various people who've done this for a while with us, people who have done it a little bit, and people who've done it almost not at all. And that they, began to feel I think the main takeaway, which was the community.
I love that they wanted to come back.
Right.
I've never left, but people have lives and things get complicated, and Parkinson's continues doing its thing, and it's really fun to have people want to come back. And for me, there were a few new people as well. Or were they new, brand new?
The only new person who didn't quite make it in was Pauline. She was there but didn't. And
Right.
Pauline, if you're out
Right.
there, we hope to see you on Friday. Don't know if there's
Yeah.
a tech issue. But otherwise, I'd seen everybody in some aspect before.
Yes.
I had some people sign up that didn't show up, and that we'll see. But
Yeah.
our group was great for what it was. And
When you put those power words up there, and the one that jumped out at me was celebrate. It was kind of cool because of the reason that's the one that hit me is what I said, which is I'm just really excited about Yaks having more of a presence beyond, beyond your degree program, beyond the things that it's a completely original vision. Like I said, lone nut. I mean, it's really something to do what you're doing and for it to start to be recognized and spread and grow. I just am so excited for the world about that.
thank you. I felt the same, and felt that, yeah, this was, another birth, as it were, of it going through multiple processes, or another iteration in its life, its growth of this thing. And to what you said about people getting busy and deciding to come back, I think that happens, and it was part of the reason I was laying the focus toward today about here's what we're really after, that I could really, instead of a clinical trial where we can't really say what we're testing, it's like, no, these are the purported outcomes, this is what I want you to have, and that's what we're going to try to build, and we're going to do it together. I've got ideas for it, however you may have ways of building that I haven't thought of. So I think people will come back if they feel the value, that they're, we all have busy lives, right? So why would we choose to spend part of it doing this thing unless it had
Right.
value?
Right.
And that's my job, I think, at this point, is clarity, number one, which seems to be getting better. And then, making sure the value is clear every time that people feel it.
Confidence, creativity,
Creativity, communication.
and communication. Those are not goals that one often sees put together
Interesting.
as a definition of a learning opportunity.
We could add community to that, a fourth C, because that's really what I'd like. Here's what I'd like you to see. um, because, in fact, I'm writing that down. It's so lovely. I'm
It's
writing it down.
irresistible. Yes, you have to.
Um, I would like you to see, because those are, by being clear in what's otherwise a squishy place. Because otherwise people could say, well, it sounds good, but what am I here for? I really feel the need to continue to reiterate that, so that they say, okay, and then they get that thing, and they yes and it in their own way, you know.
Well, I had, speaking of C's, a level of care offered to me by someone who came to me through this work that you've done. who had the DBS surgery 12 years ago. So she's lived with it for 12 years. She's had Parkinson's for 22 years. So it's quite, it's quite a big story.
Yeah.
And the care and concern that someone I've only met on a Zoom screen was really very touching. We talked for an hour and a half. It really meant a lot to me.
And that's part of what I love about that is, and I thank you for attributing that to the community. That's what I mean by this. We don't know what we need until we
Mhm.
put it out there. I have to find that TED Talk again that I sent to you. That, remember that woman? She was spectacular. Who said, "I'm going to make some things, people's dreams come true, and I don't even know what they are." And she basically started by saying, "What do you need?" And then they'd say it, and then we go, "Okay." And then somebody else would raise their hand and go, "I can help with that."
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
I've got to find that TED Talk again. It's in, I know, our communication, because it's exactly that. We don't know
And it's
what we.
happening in real life, like
That's
not on a TED screen, but like for me.
right.
Wow.
And I love that someone said in the meeting in today, they said, "I love that this feels like I'm connecting via Zoom," which I didn't think was possible. I think it was
And she
Judy said
did.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yeah.
We're 2+ years as a society of being a Zoom society, which is kind of our subculture. And it was my exact concern about part of this was people would think you can't do that this way. And we absolutely do.
Yes, Robert, and I almost wonder if there's another word that we don't know that we have to make up, you know, because improv carries a weight with it and carries a history with it. And
Right.
there's to a degree, we need to debrief people of or whatever,
Right.
uh, or
Well,
just help define it.
and this is almost like the John example of how he came up with 0,324, whatever it was. Present it, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you guys as the people playing will figure out a way for it to be said, because just like we saw in the lone nut video again today, it's not going to be about me. This is going to be defined by you all. I'm going to put this forward, and the crowd's going to follow you guys. I'm going to be just in the crowd dancing with you. You know, that, that's my job.
It's tied. It's interconnected for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And the more you all are excited, the more it becomes exactly, again, the double entendres on entendres, the movement. It is a movement.
And yaks to me is the perfect word. I mean, we talk about the yaks effect and the way it's different, and it always comes up. Today, someone referred to this being a safe space, and she was almost surprised that she felt that way because she didn't anticipate that
Right.
after a very short time. And how, beautiful is that?
Beautiful and unique.
Yeah.
And I'll close with this because we're over time. You
Sure.
mentioned the Axe Factor. We've been talking about it. You need to send me the latest version ASAP so I can get it up on the website. Just send it to me. Don't rewrite it.
Which
Send me
version? What? Whose
the
version?
last version of the Axe
Oh,
Factor.
that I wrote. The
Yep.
last version
The
okay.
last version, send it to me. We're going
The
to put it
last.
up. If it needs to be rewritten later, it will, but it needs to go up because you said too many good things there and it's part of this. So,
Okay.
okay,
I will.
done. All right, that's our time.
Okay.